they do win, then top 4 is locked. That essentially gives you double elimination when you go into playoffs. And if FlyQuest can lock top 4, I feel like even going back to when they put this roster together, that would be an accomplishment for what their goals are.
It was a complete rebuild going into this year. C9, a tiny rebuild. APA coming in the mid lane, but that one switch aside, they've still looked like they're continuing the momentum. FlyQuest yet to really reach the same heights that they had, but let's catch up what's going on here in draft, because we're already into the thick of things here, Jatt. It's Lucian, Milio locked in for FlyQuest.
Yeah, and very quick lock-ins, which I love to see when teams are prepared for what their priorities are in draft. So running through it real quick, a couple of jungle bans with the Xin and the Jarvan plus Ambessa, which is a flex pick ban, and then also Orianna ban, which is what we've seen constantly. But Ashe Seraphine is completely open. With the first pick Karma, a lot of times that says Ezreal Karma will be able to outpush Ashe Seraphine, so I don't love picking Ashe Seraphine into it. Immediately, Massu says, actually, we want to play Lucian Milio, and C9 ends up closing out with their bot lane as well.
And once you transition this into the mid lane, I love what Lucian Milio is able to do, rotating around between the two objectives, whether it's Heralds, whether it's Dragons. Such a powerful force around the 2-item spike here. Let's see what C9 wants to pair with that bot lane, though, because this, we expect the push. We've seen what the Ezreal Karma can do, and right now they're going to go for the Vi alongside it, so more of an engage-style jungler.
Yeah. I think that's a little risky going into Milio, who's very good at stopping hard engages, but it will still give them that guaranteed damage onto Lucian. And Massu, he plays so ridiculously aggressive on the pick, so the Vi is there to try and punish him.
Were you a Hitmonlee or a Hitmonchan guy? Because I feel like that's Vi versus Milio. It's like the kick versus the punch, you know?
You tell me.
Well, I can't tell you what your
tell me which one is better.
Oh, I was always a Hitmonchan guy. I liked the punching. The boxing gloves just looked cooler for me as a kid, so.
I think we have Jungle Shen again, by the way. Ooh. This is a Gryffinn special. He specifically loves playing it into Vi. He played this last week and actually had a 2-level advantage on the Vi, even though they ended up losing the game. But all he does is he plays patient, he farms his jungle, and if Vi presses R, Gryffinn presses R on that same target, and then he feels like he's better. That's
a pretty good flow chart of decision-making right there. Yeah. Very easy to approach that style of game. And we also saw the build. I mean, it was played top lane. Yesterday, Photon pulled it out and was doing crazy damage early. So I'm not 100% it's going to be jungle. I think that there's still room to flex it. We'll see if they want to do that later on here. It's a Nivea ban and Talia ban now coming in from C9 FlyQuest. So more focus on the mid laners from this point forward, as neither team is locked at.
Yeah, absolutely. The Talia ban against APA, I'd say both Quad and APA have really strong Talias now that she's a little bit back in the meta, so I don't think that's the last we will see of Talia in this series. Ziggs ban makes sense as well. You don't want to give more support to the Vial, because if you press R on the same target, a lot of time that's fatal damage.
Yeah, plus the extra poke from the Ezreal, that's like just artillery that is going to be hard to absorb as just Milio. Let's see what APA wants to pull out now, because when I think like Ziggs gone, Talia gone, Orianna gone, now even like Victor and Anivia, would it be like an Azir focus for APA? I feel like the pairings of the Vi aren't as obvious for me at this point, unless there's something I'm missing. So maybe just going back to an old classic instead.
Yeah, I mean, Ryze is always available if they want to try and play side lanes a little bit, threaten with the Vi Ryze on side. But they do need to blind pick, and that's going to allow Quad to pick whatever he wants. Rumble going this late in the draft is always a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
But Gakgos gets to play his carry, and likely an answer pick here by Thanatos.
I've loved the Ornns coming into the meta. If it's locked in, it's just such a strong engage tool. You pair it with the Vi, you have 2 engage tools. But because you also have the Vi, maybe it instead is a pivot towards the Ksante. Thanatos locking that in, saying, yep, it's going to be Blaber as primary engage.
Well, it's interesting with Thanatos playing the Ksante into Rumble, because it is a losing matchup for most players.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a losing matchup for Thanatos.
Okay,
when he was
that's
playing
a lot of confidence.
I mean, against Fudge already this year, he just ran him down at level 4, got the solo kill Ksante versus Rumble. Thanatos' laning is so good that it's almost a comfort pick for him in Rumble. We'll see if he's able to do that against Gakgos.
It's ridiculous what Thanatos has been able to do in lane. And I did forget something when it comes to mid lane pairings with the Vi, the Annie. It's another just point and click stun. You're able to set up the Vi can set up the Annie. You have a lot of burst damage, and this also provides additional CC tools or team fight tools for C9 to start things off.
And the Cassiopeia comes in as the last pick for Quad. An old favorite of his, comfort pick Cassio. I gotta say, even though the champions don't look super common on FlyQuest side, I really like what they put together.
Yeah?
I really like it. I think they have winning top mid, arguably, I mean, bot lane, if Lucian gets a few items, it's winning. And then the bigger thing is they just have a lot of heals and shields to put onto whatever C9 tries to dive on.
Sure.
And then they have way more sustained damage. So I just think they've picked a lot of good answers to C9's dive composition.
It's a good point between the Cassiopeia, the Rumble, backing up the Lucian. That's more damage backing up an AD carry than C9 have with the Ksante, with the Annie. It's about that upfront burst when you highlight the Shen jungle, which you were right, is in the jungle there. It's going to answer a lot of that, but it's going to be on Gryffinn then to execute. Blaber did kind of have his number the last time these teams faced off in lock-in.
Yeah, if Gryffinn can keep it together in the early game, but I do feel like his mindset is going to be different here as Shen into the Vi. The last time they played, he had a lot of issues, often trying to be aggressive.
Yeah.
He would contest the crabs or he'd contest the respawns of raptors. But here, all he's really trying to do is respond rather than get ahead of the Vi, because all of his lanes are naturally going to outscale what the other team has. So I'm hoping that Gryffinn comes into this game with a lot more patience.
I like the way that you framed it at the end there, hoping, because knowing Gryffinn, we never know what he's going to actually do when it comes to in the game. But game number 1, loaded onto the Rift here. Gryffinn will drop a ward down and spot if Blaber starts at the Raptors. Blaber saw that go down, so currently more information to C9's jungler.
Yep.
But pretty standard start, all things considered.
Let's see if Blaber tries to get in the head of Gryffinn early. It was very successful last time, but like I said, all Gryffinn wants to do is just clear his camps and get to level 6 before Vi makes any funny business happen, because once they're both level 6, he can stop all of the ganks.
And I like that other ward there from Blaber to dropping it down to see if Gryffinn wants to go for an invade on the Raptors, because Blaber can actually path up towards Krugs, go back towards the Raptors. If Gryffinn gets too aggressive, catch him there. But I don't, again, imagine that Gryffinn would do that if you're the Shen, just going for the farm. So instead I want to put our focus, Jatt, elsewhere on the map. Where do we expect, if Shen's going to be power farming, just trying to hit that level 6, where do we think either team could start to put pressure early on?
Bot lane is where we're going to see if Karma Ezreal can get as much push as possible. Ezreal trying to stack his passive up, but Massu and Cryogen just play so incredibly aggressive in these 2v2s, and Vulcan's KDA is at stake.
Yeah.
So we found this out earlier. The best KDA by a tier 1 player this split, but also he would be on pace for the best KDA by a support in LCS history, surpassing himself.
Yeah.
When 2020 C9 went 17-1 on their way to a championship.
Nothing like taking your own title, taking your own record away from yourself. So we'll see if he can continue it, keeping pace. If he goes 0-0-0 for the rest of the split, he could do it.
That is very good analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically.
They would lose. He just never leaves base.
Yeah.
They lose 4 games in a row.
Do it for the KDA record,
gets the
Vulcan.
KDA record.
But also, again, the conversation about how the jungle matchup went last time, I do like this kind of pivot from FlyQuest, because it really feels like they're growing as a team, and that was a question on a lot of our minds, is how would FlyQuest grow? This wasn't a roster that you look at and say they're going to smash right away. Some people maybe had faith in that, but I definitely expected them to be more of like a scaling roster, especially when you look at how they've been adapting to the series that haven't gone their way, because obviously they're not at the same caliber of last year's FlyQuest roster, which was kind of dominating everybody. This is a new rebuild, fresh young kids on the block. And
it's interesting how Gryffinn is now walking over a ward. So in terms of playing the early game a little bit slow, that's not the name of the game here. AP has first move, so Griffin's going to have to bail here.
Yeah, it actually goes for the Vault Breaker towards Vulcan. Nice sidestep there as Blaber now answers it back here. Gryffinn missing the taunt and gets punished for it. First blood to Zven. C9 picking up the kill.
Wow, that is a familiar sight.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. The last time they played, that happened a lot. And I could see Griffin's idea that they were just going to turn on the Ezreal Karma, but how? If you're not going to flash taunt and try and burst, you're never going to be able to have that damage. Now he immediately gives a little bit of extra gold over to Zven, who'd already returned for that early tier, and now is laning with double buffs. So C9 off to the races.
It's going to get even harder for Massu and Cryogen from this position, who have been trading well up to that point, but the red buff, blue buff combo is just going to be too much. Zven and Vulcan will continue to push this wave in, and yeah, I go back. It was right after I was making the point, pivoting in the game plan, you know, trying to correct those past mistakes, that Gryffinn does essentially what he had done last time that these teams faced off. A reminder that they played twice in the lock-in, once in a best of 3, once in a best of 5, and the record was 1-5.
Yeah, Blaber really had their number, and Zven and Vulcan are just pummeling FlyQuest under this turret with the double buffs on the Ezreal and the Karma.
Zven's going for it. He's looking for the kill. Underturning is punished. Cryogen with the turret help will get the kill. And now he's wearing the double buffs.
Zven and Vulcan try and hit the home run and end up striking out. They had the entire lane. They were going to force a recall. There was going to be a lot of minions they lose, but they go for the dive. And I mean, they didn't even have heal, but the barrier ends up keeping him alive. Let's watch this one more time. So Zven has his passive pretty stacked up. Once he lands that Q, he thinks, okay, I can go in for the all-in. Misses his W, shifts in.
Good
the
flash.
Extra heal and shield from Cryogen's E ends up keeping Massu alive.
And body blocking the Q.
Unbelievable.
Body blocking the Q was huge there. Now the laning phase is completely flipped on its head, as Zven and Vulcan were kind of poised to run away with it. They're still in the lead, but now it's a little more even.
And this is just a reminder of the history between Gryffinn and Blaber. So this is the start of 2026. Gryffinn recalled a story about when he went to the Chicago finals at 15 years old and they started chanting for Blaber. He looked up to him, said he wanted to play a pro. He makes into the LCS and he just gets bullied.
Yeah.
He gets bullied through the entire lock-in tournament 2 weeks in a row, the last week of the regular season, as well as the first week of the playoffs. Blaber just ends up killing him over and over, either at a Raptor, a Blue Buff, or at Scuttle Crab. And the question was whether or not that's going to continue happening today, because in the 6 games they played, only one of them was a win for Gryffinn, and Blaber had his number. Here, he does have the answer pick in his mind. He already died at the first crab, though, and now they're starting up this Drake, so we could see another fight.
And they see Blaber on the control ward that he just cleared, but Blaber will walk away. A big part of that was the chunk. Zven and Vulcan were very low, or rather, Zven was very low in the bot lane. Massu and Cryogen traded heavily, so you know, you die at the crab, but you get the dragon. So Gryffinn is at least getting back on the board here and has not really fallen that far behind in the jungle clear either.
I mean, the failed 2v2 dive by Vulcan and Zven kind of forgives the sins of the first blood from Gryffinn, which gave Zven the double buffs once he already had his tier. That was such a powerful position for Zven Vulcan to be in that they were not able to capitalize on. Now Blaber's level 6, thinking about going for quad.
Just a little too far right. Ooh, and doesn't get the ball breaker over the wall.
Yeah, Quad's going to be a little more vulnerable than Cassio of days past because there's no phase rush to run away, but he's going to have a lot more damage because he's gone Deathfire Touch. It's interesting, Stormraider Surge just hasn't really landed for a lot of the old phase rush users. They've kind of all navigated back towards Deathfire Touch, so they're just nuking people, even if they're a little more vulnerable.
Ooh, Cryogen gonna get hit by the root right there. More damage from Zven. Massu looked like he was going for a reset, but they'll have to stay for one more wave. But to your point there, I do love the Deathfire touch coming back. This is one of my favorite keystones in metas past. I mean, it's a little different now. I don't think it's going to be the same as like old Jhin Deathfire. That was a fun one, but you know, it's still fun to have it back in some capacity. So far, Quad, though, is crushing that laning phase when it comes to CS, about, you know, 2.5 waves ahead.
Yeah.
Now the bot lane will get a reset, but Quad's having a really good time, all things considered, in Davia.
He is, and he's also already itemized that Null Magic Mantle, which is just important because the Cassio versus Annie matchup is a lot about thresholds. Cassio is going to have a lot more sustained damage, and it's whether or not APA can get him 100-0.
Yeah.
So getting that little bit of magic resist is just going to allow Quad to keep cycling his cooldowns if APA ever does try to go for the all-in.
And we did see that Zven stuck around for 2 plates there, so getting some of that gold back. But here, Cryogen's rotating to the mid lane to help Quad get another wave shoved in right as the grubs spawn. Griffin's already heading up there. Vulcan's answering the roam from Cryogen. Has level 6 to Cryogen's level 5. And looks like Gryffinn will actually start up these grubs. Cryogen sticking around as well, just in case something breaks out here.
Yeah, and honestly, all FlyQuest has to do is play a little bit of defense. If Blaber goes for an ult, then there's a chance that Griffin goes for an ult. Let's see if we can
the wall. They saw Cryogen and Blaber lands it.
Here comes Shen,
goes
though.
for the season desist. There's the stand united. Shen gonna keep Cryogen alive, and there you had it. They press R, you press R. Vulcan is here, but Cryogen is standing his ground. Massu flashing over the vault breaker there. Now looking for more damage onto Blaber. Flash from Zven. Blaber's out of there. Even Quad roamed all the way down from the mid lane, but no kills on either side.
Ults burn top lane as well as Gakgos gets into a little scuffle with Thanatos.
Yeah, interesting series of events right there. Because top lane is just wanting to be part of the action. Like, all right, they're having fun down there. Let's just press R on each other as well. But I want to highlight what you had said in draft chat. Vi presses R, Shen presses R. You're not going to find the same, lethal picks here as a Vi when you're against the Shen comps.
Yeah, only one one grub taken by Gryffinn as he was doing that when Blaber went for that play. Sends his camps a little bit off cycle, but that's exactly what you want to do. Like, if Vi never gets kills and can never execute people, then Shen's in a happy state in the game because really, FlyQuest is just waiting for the scaling from the Cassio Lucian Rumble.
I will say Blaber's ultimate at level 1 at least until Shen gets more cooldown reduction comes up a little faster, so you could look for another play like instantly, but it's not like many flashes were burned. I guess Massu and Cryogen don't have them, so you could look bot side again. But you're going to have a short window to do that. I'd guess like 20, 30 seconds, not knowing the exact cooldown.
Yeah, it is 30 seconds, so it's a bigger window than you'd expect. It's a very beefy cooldown for the Shen on his rank 1 stand United. But he gets the Void Grubs, and he sees Blaber. That's a really nice timing for him to be able to clear the objective and also get vision.
APA now looking
for
a play here. Cryogen was just getting wards down. Tibbers goes out. Cryogen has to pop the ultimate just to keep his health bar up. True Shot Barrage will set up the damage for APA to knock him down. C9 find another kill.
And they're picking on Cryogen here. This is something a good number of teams have found success with Cryo. Him and Gryffinn don't link up as much as a lot of other support jungle combos, so Cryo, I feel like, fairly frequently gets caught while going for vision alone. You see how Gryffinn had just finished the grubs, so when he's going for vision there, APA can pretty safely engage on him, knowing that Shen isn't going to be there to cover, and they're able to get the kill.
I think Cryogen, maybe a little false confidence for the last Shen ult. He's like, I'm invincible!
With no flash! I have my ultimate, though.
Unfortunately, it does go down, so that's more gold in the pocket now of C9, specifically APA, who was still falling behind in the CS department pretty heftily to Quad, but having the Dark Seal 2 stacks now, you're kind of getting the stats back immediately, so you're not really falling behind as the laning phase continues, because Quad's also going to be going for more of a scaling build here with the Rod of Ages. Yeah.
Just trying to get that little bit of extra durability. Protoplasm Harness is also completed on Gryffinn to match Blaber's Sundered Sky, and the ultimates are back up again. So the next Vi ultimate can still be answered by the next stand United.
I will say, though, the Rod of Ages is already picked up by Quad. Pretty big deal, as he's now going to be stacking that up and can just stay in lane pretty much indefinitely. You have the mana regen, you have the health regen as well whenever you press your abilities, and with that little bit of magic resist, Andy's probably not going to be able to burst you at any point to get you out of that lane. But C9 will start up the next dragon here, as they will even TP APA down towards just to make sure that they get the objective.
Yep, Center Sky completed for Blaber for his MasterCard Power Spike, is able to take the dragon with that. And FlyQuest also concedes the dragon completely by moving their duo lane up. It's pretty telegraphed, though, I thought, since they didn't show bottom lane, but they're going for a 4-man.
TP from Thanatos is a big punish if they can kill the Ksante. He flashes away, tries to take the Pathmaker back, and now all out over the wall from Cryogen, trying to use the support to get out of there. Drain tanking up, but still goes down. Survived longer than expected, but will die nonetheless.
I mean, that's a good play to shut Thanatos down a bit in the game. He was doing very well in that lane. He had the new Doran's Helm start, which is a little bit actually weaker in lane for better scaling, and Ksante scales extremely well off the armor and MR that the Doran's Helm provides, and he finished his Canic. But I was a little surprised he teleported straight back on that wave when the Lucian Milio had been missing for so long. Because if we talk about, since we have a pause, what had happened there, the whole time C9 was taking the Drake, Lucian Milio was off the map. Yeah. And I saw Thanatos recall to buy his item. I thought he was resetting to go deploy bottom lane because it was almost obvious that too many people were going to be top lane. But then when he teleports straight back onto the turret, I can see exactly why Gryffinn would use an aggressive stand United to go for a 4-man dive there.
Yeah, and we see that Thanatos goes down, so has gold picked up from the side of FlyQuest. They're able to deny some golden experience from Thanatos, but Zven was still hitting that bot turret the entire time. So I'm curious after this pause to see where that bot turret is at in terms of number of plates remaining, because they got the top kill, but like everyone's kind of low. I don't think they stuck around to really farm plates up there either. So it's putting down a Ksante. Historically, in my mind, Jatt, putting down a Ksante by like a little bit of XP and gold doesn't do much in the grand scheme of things. I think that C9 getting extra gold onto their Ezreal will also feel good, but looks like it was a short pause either way.
Yeah, thankfully, a very quick one.
Yeah, one plate left.
It's one plate, and it's a decent gold advantage for Zven with both role quests being completed. It bounces back a little bit because Massu was able to get that quick injection, but absolutely, like, if FlyQuest doesn't get Massu fed in this game, then they're going to have a really hard time killing Ksante.
Yeah.
Because when a Ksante itemizes all MR against the Rumble, he's also countering the other solo laner in Cassio. The jungle Shen with Protoplasm Harness doesn't do much damage, so it's all on Massu actually to cut through the Ksante, which is, I think, more the reason FlyQuest went for that dive was to try and get gold on Massu.
And Zven right now almost 1,000 ahead, 900, just because he was farming those plates. Like, no, I guess, yeah, it does have also 100% KP for C9 right now, but only one of those being a kill. I think still a lot of that gold being just from the turret itself. As APA, he's got his jungler nearby, but not immediately here. Throws out the stun. Tibbers onto Gakgos to help clear out the wave as well. And Gakgos is even going to go for a reset. No, he has to cancel that back, yeah. Otherwise, you're just giving the turret over for free, essentially. Yeah. But Zven, big spike here with the Trinity Force, and he's even getting more plates mid lane.
Yep, and he's got the Karma in his back pocket to keep him safe from any counterattack from the Lucian. You can also see Gryffinn just kind of babysitting a little bit on the bot side here while he waits for his Stand United to come back, but it looks like he was able to get that aggressive ultimate out without Blaber being able to counter with the Vi ultimate of his own, and now he can match the next one with his Stand United.
We'll see where that one's going to be right now. Massu's low in the mid lane. He's taking a lot of the Ezreal poke, just trying to get as much of this wave as possible. I imagine we'll go for a reset after this. And there it does get just that. So Zven going to catch this next wave. Massu's going to go for a reset. And Cryogen's sticking on Gryffinn. No, actually, Massu will stick around. Again, like being this low when there's a Vi on the enemy team can be scary. Suppose with the Milio, with the Shen, maybe you're even trying to bait them in, thinking like, hey, look how low I am as an AD carry, but you're still like missing the cannon minion, not providing pressure on the map currently, so we'll see if he actually goes for the reset this time. Yeah,
currently the Grubbies aren't doing much for FlyQuest because they're barely getting to hit turrets. But they are actually moving the Cassio up right now to either help with this Rift Herald or help push the Ezreal Karma back. That kind of gives up the first turret of the game down bot for APA as soon as he wants to collect it.
Yeah, he's just going to push this next wave in. I think like one auto with the crystals built up on it should be enough.
Gryffinn
we'll
gets
if Quad's able to get there fast enough.
Yeah, Gryffinn gets the Rift Herald though.
Yeah, there it is.
APA gets it.
Yeah, APA, he's just this is how APA plays, this split. I've noticed this a lot. Like, the team will be doing something, and APA is just like, nah, I'm not interested. I'm just going to hit the bot turret. I'm going to stay in my lane and try and get as much gold as I can. And it's just annoying to deal with, because if Quad wants to hover in case there's a fight at the Herald, well, now, you know, he's not going to be able to catch that bot wave. And they're hitting the turret for the first time in this bot side now.
That's the secret sauce of APA, honestly. One of the reasons he's so good on Ziggs is because he just has a really good sense of when he can get side lane waves and how he can get turret damage done. I'd say the best metas for APA was actually the AD carry meta, because he could just do this on Tristana, and he'd always end up with this like random 2,000 gold lead just because he played side lane so well.
Although I will remind you, in Lock-In, the only game FlyQuest beat C9 was the legendary game where it was a 4v5 fight at Elder, and APA on Azir was just hitting the bot turret the whole time and refused to come. So sometimes it also loses some games, as this mid turret very low as well. I mean, Zven's just getting around and getting paid with these plates over and over again. It's not a massive gold lead overall for C9 as a team, but just individually, Zven is kind of set up to be the carry.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is this game for Massu to play right now? He is consistently under his turret, and he's about to lose the mid-tier 1 just to the Ezreal Karma. Also, the Annie Vi were in River, not on Vision, but looming, so that FlyQuest is scared of making a play, and they're probably just unable to enter River here, and the second Drake is going to go over to Cloud9.
Seems like it. Cryogen's going to clear out some of these wards. APA's walking up, gets the stun there onto Gryffinn, who still gets the Herald down. Remember in days past when you could actually cancel that animation.
The dark days.
Yeah.
The 4-second Rift Herald channel. They're going to kill this Herald, I think.
It's not getting the charge off. Yeah, it's hitting the waves. Going to go for an auto, and that is a wasted Rift Herald. C9 get the dragon. They get back to the mid lane, deny the charge. And they have been playing a very good game when it comes to turret control. Bot turret, mid turret, not giving a lot of turret plates over to FlyQuest so far.
Whew. Zven Vulcan, just imagine how even more oppressive they'd be if they didn't gift that kill over under the turret. Because they've been really applying pressure. The whole lead for Cloud9 is just created by this Ezreal Karma. I'd say even the Drakes are created by the Ezreal Karma because of the permanent prio they've had.
Speaking of pressure, though, it seems like FlyQuest are trying to put some pressure top lane. They have 4 members here. They're going to go for Thanatos. The Equalizer's down, roasting him up. He goes for the flash away. And Thanatos gets out of there, has to commit the summoner spell.
But FlyQuest is going to be able to get this turret down most likely. Thanatos could try to teleport back in, but that turret's going to die too quickly. Yeah. So that'll make it 1 turret to 2.
And Quad, despite having the big CS lead, was falling behind in gold to APA because of that kill and because of the turret that APA was able to, farm some played spot side as well. So this will help Quad equalize a little bit, still 500 down overall. It's kind of Gakgos holding the fort here for FlyQuest. He's the only one with a significant lead on their side, essentially matching Zven and keeping the gold across the board relatively even.
It is, and I know he's in a winning matchup right now, but we have to mention the champion pool for Gakgos. Rumble, not a tank. Rumble actually one of those carries, which he is 7-1 on so far in the spring split. 1 of 4 there on the tank, so has opened up a decent lead for himself. I will say most of that lead is when he gets the squad to come help him.
Sure.
Because I think Thanatos was holding very well in the 1v1. It's just when he gets 4-man dove is where Gakgos starts getting those little leads.
And they've gone for 2 of those now. One actually worked after the TP, big punish. The other one, they just get the flash. And Thanatos is going to be fine just back up in that top lane. So it looks like APA is in the bot lane against Gakgos here. Actually goes for the Rocket Bell forward for the follow-up stun. There's no turret and no backup for Gakgos. He has the stand united, but in comes Blaber and the rest of C9. That's a teleport to cover. The taunt lands onto APA. Gakgos flashes. Looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 to start things off, but Gakgos is living for a while. Now the rest of C9's joined in. We got a full-on team fight bot lane. Gryffinn trying to get out of there, but Thanatos leading the charge for C9, pulls him back. Flash from the Shen. Mystic shot over Mystic shot is now Quad having a flash as well. Zven is unleashing this fight, and C9 hold their ground and define their territory. FlyQuest got to get out of there.
That is crazy that it only ends up being a 1-for-1. I thought FlyQuest had gone too deep, but Zven is trying to be more aggressive.
Yeah, there's the Choline Zven almost throwing the play, and now he's kind of leaving his jungler out to dry. Blaber has to Vault Breaker over the wall. Ooh, Zven is playing on a needle's edge here, really trying to push any lead he's got.
But the game stays incredibly close. Gryffinn was able to chase down that kill onto APA, and even though I think there's a temporary tempo gain for C9, FlyQuest to be able to get these waves cleared. This did start with APA just having a bunch of damage here with his Malignance completed, and Tibbers just burning Gakgos down as much as possible. Nice blast cone there by Gryffinn to delay the vibe, but then he realizes, wait a second, my Rumble actually needs me. I'm going to die. Everybody TP's in, so Rumble, Cassiopeia, Ksante, and coming up here, watch for Quad's Cassio ultimate on this re-engage. I thought this is where the fight was either going to start or end. It's going to be in the tri-brush that happens in a little bit. Everyone on C9 manages to avoid this stun, which is just crazy.
Ooh.
That buffer by Thanatos, like how does he avoid that? That's insane. Doesn't lead to a kill, but really intense fight here.
Oh, you can see Gryffinn, physical reaction there. I think the FlyQuest realized maybe they could have gotten a little more. C9 really pushed for that. I liked the start of it. It went a little longer than expected. I think both these teams trying to show off a little bit on Summoner's Rift. Prove that they are the better one.
A sneaky little play here that is spotted by the blue trinket. No.
I mean, they can commit. The Thanatos is bot side, no TP.
So Cassio Shen killed it so fast, but C9 knows it's happening.
Okay, there's the True Shot Barrage. C9 are realizing what's going on. That's a teleport in from APA. And now FlyQuest, do they actually want to commit for it? Gakgos TP's in as well. Thanatos is not there. It's a 5v4 for FlyQuest. Big damage as Equalizer goes down again. Blaber's going to go down to start the fight. FlyQuest kill the jungler, and Baron is still low. Petrifying Gaze will be sidestepped by APA, but Thanatos is delayed. Baron's the focus. It's secure. Thanatos in the pit, trying to buy space for Zven to free fire. Quad will be sacrificed. C9 get one answered, but FlyQuest get the Baron. Can Massu get out is the question. He's got a blast cone there.
And then recall.
I mean, if he just presses B right now, no. He's taking the long way around. Can C9 catch up?
I mean, I feel like they can with Ezreal Karma, but he has the empowered recall.
Oh, he was looking for the back. Oh, yeah. Straight into Zven's waiting arms. Massu will go down, tries to trade one back, but C9 will pick up 2 in the extended play.
And potentially go to Soul Point here, so a lot to take in. But the main takeaway for me is FlyQuest are complete psychopaths. The Baron's at 7,000 health, and they get the anti-TP, and they say, no, we're good. We know it's 5v4 temporarily, so they burn down Blaber, and even here, they're all at half health. The Baron shredding them. They decide to finish the Baron, but they almost get away with the whole thing. They know there's no smite on the other side, so they can secure it with the smite. Gakgos has no ult, no flash. He has to bail out the backside. And if Massu was able to get out, it would have just been a 1-for-1 plus the Baron. But now that they've lost 2 and the Drake, I think it's really debatable whether or not that was a worth play.
I think the Drake is the bigger part. As we're back to live here, Thanatos finding Gryffinn, trying to take away the red buff. Blaber's here, Vault Breakers, just to go for the camp itself. Gryffinn will blast cone away and gets out of there. The third Drake for C9's big. Now they're on Soul Point. Now they can look for that as the win condition in 4.5 minutes. Yeah,
biggest bait of 2026 is actually Baron. They're down 700 gold off the 2 deaths, and they've also lost the
Somebody auto! Auto the turret! Nobody's autoing it! Okay, well, Thanatos TP's in. APA gets a flank right there, stuns up Cryogen, almost one-shots him, as now the rest of C9 are looking to front to back here. They're getting out of the Massu! The 80 carries down! Lucian caught out of position, as the front line did not hold for FlyQuest, losing their 80 carry. They got to back off here as C9 push mid-wave.
Didn't see quite how Massu got in that position, but that was through the Stand United.
Yeah.
So a massive amount of burst that C9's able to get onto Massu, and that just makes that Baron power play even less effective.
I feel like FlyQuest might be rattled. Like, they had 3 people in range to auto that turret and just get the turret plates, and nobody hit it. Like, they're so focused on the fight, I suppose?
Yeah. I don't think they could have finished the whole turret, so it's more important to focus on the fight. Maybe Ellis is in their back mind about not being gold.
I'm clicking forward right now.
Okay, watch me. Still, no flash cancel still.
I got Milio.
Yeah. Milio 1 HP.
Milio flash.
I'm looking.
I'm disconnected from Zven.
Looking Lucian. Looking Lucian. Look Lucian.
Coming.
Chen ult.
I have big shield here.
Nice. Look Rumble, guys. Oh, catch it all.
Rumble flash. I'm no mana.
Yeah,
I can't go. Already really good, guys.
Yeah.
Milio flash there. We break their Baron.
Lucian flash. Lucian flash.
Okay, nice. Lucian Milio. I'm basing. I have Iron base in 100 gold. Don't fight. They're strong. We're casting ult. We ult T.
Nice guys. Good job, guys.
Clear comms from C9 there. You could see it was actually Thanatos landing that Q3 on Massu that threw him back into the team that forced Massu to try and dash flash away. They're still going to try and break this mid turret though.
Again, one auto, boom.
There we go.
Big damage as FlyQuest will now finally crack that mid turret, answering 2 for 2 against C9 and trying to get some gold back in their pocket. Still a gold lead overall for C9 as Massu actually looks to jump in on Zven. This is the scary thing about Lucian Milio is like at any point, if you're too far forward in the lane, they can just press E, press R, and you kind of die.
Yeah, he's also got those new boots, the Glutinous Greaves. I heard Hysterics call them the Gluttonous Greaves.
I thought it was Gluteus Greaves that he called them. Somebody called them that over there as well.
So there are a couple things.
Producers just said gluty booties in my ear, and I need everybody to hear that. I can't be the only one.
So like Glutinous Greaves, like they're gluten, or I like calling them glute boots now. I just feel like that's easier. Yeah, that's just easier than Gluttonous Greaves. So Massu with the glute boots, but he has not stacked them, which doesn't happen that much in pro. There's a big debate going on online whether or not these boots are worth it in pro since the pace of games is so much slower and the Omnivamp just takes so much longer to turn on. Particularly evident in this game.
Yep. I think the moral of the story, though, is there's a lot of funny names you can call those boots.
Yeah.
And that's good for everybody.
It's only 5% Omnivamp now, 27 minutes into the game. Hello, Thanatos. Hello,
finds the all-out onto quad, has to flash away. Stand United coming in now, so FlyQuest committing a summoner spell, a TP, and an ultimate to get quad out of there, and C9 just back off and are looking no worse for wear.
But multiple ultimates there. Gakgos did get the wave, and his ult will be up pretty soon again. It's level 16 now, and Soul Point, or the actual Soul, won't be up for another minute, so Rumble Ultimate will be fine.
But it gives, I guess, credence to how these teams have played so far in this game. We're scrapping over lane states and game states that I don't get used to team scrapping for. Because like when it's a Dragon, yeah, team fight makes sense. When it's a Baron, yeah, team fight makes sense. But they're fighting when there's no objectives up, and they're looking for these picks at different times. And I think it's showing that they just want to play fast League of Legends right now, as another turret will go down. Gakgos picking up the third one for FlyQuest.
Yeah, he's got 2,000 gold in pocket, so he's wanting to get that Zoni's Hourglass as soon as possible for the Chemtech Soul. That's potentially why he ulted that wave. Just trying to accelerate his gold for this game-changing fight. There it is.
Okay, not bad. Gakgos picking up a big team fight item, as this next team fight will be very important for FlyQuest. Giving up this Dragon Soul, not wise. C9 want this one, and currently are trying to jockey for mid lane position here
Quad's
with
got
their
the
push.
Cassio flank.
Yeah, Cassiopeia walking up. C9 spotted it out as a TP will come in. APA went for the rocket belt. Not finding the stun afterwards. Equalizer used and just kind of whiffed. C9 walk away from it, and FlyQuest don't have that big team fight ultimate anymore. They're just going for the Baron.
Yeah, they can't walk in to any Ezreal Karma, so they're just going to try and burst this Nash, though. They'll probably be able to get it, but this could be a repeat of the last fight because Blaber's staying on Soul.
APA still has Flash Tibbers, so if they group up, it's really scary for C9, although it is Blaber at the Dragon, so C9 will just go for the 4v5 fight in the pit right now. Thanatos is in there again, and the Baron goes down again. APA trying to chase away the carries as Thanatos buying so much space. Stun lands on a Gakgos. Zven's free firing onto him. APA as well goes into the stasis. Now Blaber's joined up. C9, they don't need the Barons, they just want to win the fights, but Blaber falls in the pit as Quad finds the petrified gaze. FlyQuest fight back. Thanatos low, has to jump away. Blast going to safety for the three members of C9 still on Summoner's Rift, and FlyQuest get the Baron, and this time they're getting out.
This is not their side of the map, though. Massu's chasing.
Massu's gonna go for even more. We'll get the kill onto Thanatos eventually. The shield's coming up. Thanatos buying time, but Vulcan now next to be chased down. The fight went so long, Equalizer's back. Gakgos roasting up the Karma, and FlyQuest just found a 4-for-0 and Baron.
What a high-pressure performance here by FlyQuest. The difficult choice to take Baron for Soul, and since C9 had the Soul, they were confident taking a temporary 4v5 as Blaber arrives. But as we talked about, the sustained damage from Massu and Quad is so high. They push Thanatos out of the fight, and Gakgos buys so much time on the outside. Watch Gryffinn on the left here. After taunting, ult back in to keep FlyQuest alive. Then Quad is able to land the stun onto Zven from the Cassio ult, and the rest of FlyQuest can chase them down.
Beautiful play from Gryffinn right there. Essentially 1v3 on the side while Thanatos was in the pit, and he's got a lot of magic resist, but eventually all that AP from the Cassiopeia and the AD from Lucian will get through that health bar. FlyQuest wearing purple again. Let's see if they can get more for this Baron buff. Already a 5,000 Baron power play.
But I feel like the game is still in a very close state because that Soul is not going anywhere, but FlyQuest definitely feels like they've hit a power spike with the IE onto Massu and 3 items on both of their solo laners.
And the Baron, or rather the Dragon Soul, you know, there's a stipulation as to which soul gives which amount of stats and like kind of gold value right there. I would argue it's pretty close still with only 5,000 for FlyQuest. But if they can get more with this siege, just a second Baron, they have the spike you're talking about on Lucian. If they can start cracking these inhibs, that's when the map control really comes online for FlyQuest, but they can't get caught out here. Knockback onto Quad, he's got Gakgos behind him, and actually massive damage onto Thanatos. I guess not enough magic resist for those two.
And the ultimate from Shen comes in over the top. They shred him with the Bloodletter's Curse from the Rumble. Now they can continue pushing with this Baron. No front line for C9.
FlyQuest have struggled against C9 so far in 2026, but a reminder that if they win this series, they lock top 4. They're looking for that as the Tibber stun on Massu, but he's just got too much shields, too much healing. Cryogen keeping his 80 carry topped off right there, and that was the one punch from C9. Tibber's down for another about 30 seconds here, but looks like FlyQuest will back off.
Yeah, I think they're going to take their bags of gold to the shop. Not even close. Massu's fine. Able to reset. A lot of gold across the board. 2,000 gold for Massu, about 1,000 for Blaber and Quad. they got to be feeling pretty good, and a death cap completed for Gakgos. So he has been... How does he have so much gold?
5,000 gold lead for Gakgos.
How does he have so much gold?
That's literally this. Gakgos' wallet.
He's up 30
just right
CS
there.
and 2 kills, but 5,000 gold. It's almost like every turret has gone to him.
I believe he got 2 of the 3 turrets, because Quad got the top one, Gakgos was present for the mid one, and he got the bot one alone.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Colin late game on Zven. Big shields come in from Vulcan, but that's heal as well. So Summoner Spell down. And that's the strength of the Ezreals against the Lucian. Milio late game, you can just Arcane Shift away, but there's still this, you know, threat all the time of Massu finding that big push. The empowered damage from the Milio passive is crazy on top of Lucian's CVS.
Yep. This is the late game of Lucian Milio is really lethal.
Really good. Think about like Lucian Nami, but I actually think it's stronger.
A little bit. And then also just they have so much counter engage built into their comp. And that's what we're really seeing in these fights. If Thanatos finds a catch, he's almost just pulling in trouble rather than pulling in someone that he can one-shot, because the Cassio's durable enough, the Rumble's durable enough, and when you add in the Shen Guardian Stand United on a level 16 Shen, now 17, it's just too much to burst through, and then FlyQuest is just winning these delayed fights through the Chemsel.
Yeah. And I like that you highlight even like Quad, so much HP stacked in this Cassio build, plus the Seraph Shield, so that's not an ideal target. Gakgos has the Zonias. That's not an ideal target. If you can get on Massu, he's going to have Milio in his back pocket, so I guess finding Cryogen is the goal at this point. And they found him twice early game, but we're not in the early game anymore. We're not going to have those same avenues as C9 currently grouped up as 5 around the top side here, or rather bottom jungle. Thanatos all alone. C9 going to have to try and back up their top laner. Vulcan will get the shield on him as Gakgos will continue the chase down. I mean, yeah, FlyQuest aren't really threatened right now as they're hitting Thanatos.
And if you try and turn, that's when the Shen ult hits, so they're kind of just chasing with impunity here.
Blaber separated from the rest of the team as well. The equalizer will go down onto APA, who lands the Tibber stun onto Gryffinn. Now Blaber's joining up with the rest of the team. Thanatos still topping off right now, but a little chunked. Blaber goes over into the Dragon Pit. I don't think it was spotted by FlyQuest. Now they do see him. Vault Breaker's back to the team, but C9 are on the wrong side of the rift. Dragon's coming up.
With no Tibbers, though, the engage from C9 is a little bit weaker. Blaber doesn't want to just fly in with Vi ultimate because it would be answered by the Shen ult, and then FlyQuest has more sustained damage.
They got to find a way to kill Massu right here. He's got the Milio in his back pocket. Quad's a little separated from the team as he's going to look to group up again.
Yeah, Ezreal poke needs to land here. That's really the only way that C9 can get damage down.
Yeah, it's got to be Thanatos creating space. Maybe Blaber finding the Vault Breaker engage.
Tipper's actually up in 5 more seconds.
Yeah, Quad is able to push the mid wave, and now we're fighting for the Dragon itself. It could come down to a smite fight. Thanatos heavily chunked. He goes for the flash, and Topo Strike does not land on the Massu. Petrifying gaze from Quad, but he's getting chunked out. Stand United Shield will keep him alive for a little longer, but he'll be traded for Thanatos 1-for-1. In the pit, stun lands onto 2. Dragon Cell at half health. Massu goes forward, flashes back with the Vault Breaker. Massu's alive, and Blaber's in trouble. Straight out of the Guardian Angel, and he's out of there. Gakgos on a killing spree into the stasis. FlyQuest kill the enemy jungler. No smite contest as Zven goes all the way back. He's the only hope for C9 to stop this as already Vulcan goes down. That's going to be a dragon picked up for FlyQuest.
Probably. Gryffinn has no smite.
And now they want more. Zven taunted up by Gryffinn. Massu with the double kill. FlyQuest win the fight and get the objective.
Man, you can really just see the team comp difference in these fights as FlyQuest win the longer it goes with the sustained damage of Rumble, Cassio, and Lucian. Baron is up, but everyone on C9 is dead except for APA, so FlyQuest is looking to end right here.
8 seconds on Thanatos. I don't think that's going to be enough.
Okay.
APA is going to go for the teleport. Extra move speed, maybe looking for a cheese play right there. Finds a big stun on the Gakgos, and that is a shutdown, trading his life for the Endeavor. 1-for-1, teleporting for Thanatos. Low health on Cryogen. Massu has Gryffinn in his back pocket. The taunt will land, but is buffered. Thanatos taking the Pathmaker out of there as now the Vault Breaker charged up by Blaber. No flash available. Can't get onto Gryffinn. Massu's still full health. So FlyQuest say, let's rally. We got the carries. Quad and Massu ready to go. The Colleen just out of range as Blaber gets to safety.
I think a bit of a misplay here by FlyQuest after getting the Elder Dragon. They could have just gone straight Elder to Baron. Instead, they just cleared the inhibitor. And then even that extra stick around, they spent most of their time just breaking through the empowered shield from Thanatos' teleport. I think they'll still get the Baron, but that's almost half of Elder Dragon gone for a mid inhibitor. FlyQuest extending their lead, but C9 actually the ones hanging on after what looked to be a game-ending Elder fight.
It felt like that was either the Baron or the game end. FlyQuest were not able to find either one. Let's get another replay at how crazy this fight was.
Dude, everyone flying everywhere, and it's when Quad flashes in, surely he dies quick, right? But Milio ultimate stand united, buys a bunch of time, and then Massu on the backside is pretty much untouched. All of C9's burst was burned onto Quad. And then watch the top side, Massu trying to fly onto Zven. Doesn't actually burn him to death, which extends the fight somehow as well. Gryffinn used both smites in the fight, so he's kind of sticking around, not willing to actually smite the Elder, and that's why they weren't finishing it super quickly.
Oh, tough margins here. FlyQuest are able to wear purple again as that's their third Baron of the game. Big damage carry from Massu in that last sequence as he does not have flash for this next fight. Oh, that was one true shot barrage. Ouch.
Yeah. Well, right now, Shen on mid lane trying to just escort the minions into the base as FlyQuest is just going to let these supers do most of the work. Waiting for C9 to try an all-in engage. That's what Blaber would hope to find a one-shot, but just going up against now a 3.5 item Milio and a Locket Guardian Shen is going to be really hard to burst.
And the Greaves really helping Massu with that extra lifesteal. Cryogen keeping him topped off as well with the Cozy Campfire, and the turret will eventually fall. C9 might look to defend this inhib. They have supers coming in the mid lane. APA is catching those right now. FlyQuest, all 5 members grouped up around the top inhibitor, so C9 cannot defend it. FlyQuest get another structure. Yeah,
I wonder how they're going to try and end this one. They can't really all in, but if C9 goes for a fight, the gold deficit might be enough. FlyQuest would love to end here. It's just they don't actually have great engage. They're mainly counter-engage.
Massu! 1W auto is almost just completely chunking Zven as Thanatos tries to jump forward. The rest of the team not ready to follow him up. APA with a flash doesn't get enough done right there. Double kill to Massu. FlyQuest roaring to life in game number 1. Gryffinn on a rampage and the rest of FlyQuest behind him. GG, they'll take game 1.
Another W for the jungle Shen. Gryffinn ends up completely neutralizing the hard engage from Cloud9. Cryogen as well. It was on display in that last fight when APA went into Tibber straight to the Milio ultimate.
Yep.
Nothing happened. They just outscaled them, so I love the draft from FlyQuest. The draft can't win player of the game though, so Lounge, what do you think?
Maybe it can.
Maybe player of the game goes to Think Cars.
Draft diff.
It was actually crazy. Even like